A slight, electric hum filled the air in the kitchen as Marta prepared her morning coffee. The smart assistant perched on the counter, a sleek black speaker, glowed softly in the dim light. "Good morning, Marta," it chirped, its artificial tone blending seamlessly with the sounds of the brewing machine. With a digital beep, the assistant chimed again. "What would you like to hear this morning?" Curiously, Marta shrugged and said, "Just the news." "Playing the news. Are you ready for the other voices?" The reply was unexpected, confusion prickling at the back of her mind. Had she heard it wrong? Marta hesitated, but she shook off the disquiet as anxiety began to blossom in her chest. The kitchen felt wrong. Shadows seemed to stretch longer, disappearing around the corners as every breath fogged the air, just a touch too much. She marched back to the counter, determined not to let her imagination play tricks. "What other voices?" she asked firmly, glancing around as the fog outside thickened, obscuring the neighbor's yard. For a moment, silence filled the room, an uncomfortable pause that seemed to stretch and yawn endlessly. Then the assistant spoke again, its voice laced with an uncanny warmth. "Don't be afraid. I know them too." Marta's heart raced as she glanced toward the hallway. The subtle creaking of the floorboards echoed through the house, accompanied by the faintest whispering, like the rustling of leaves in a windless grove. Just behind her, though, the speaker took on a new tone, a deeper, ashy timbre that seemed not to belong to the device at all. "You must help us," it urged, layered voices intertwining like wisps of fog itself. "Us," the multitude of voices replied, rising like a chorus from the depths of shadows. "Search the house. Find us." Panic surged through her, igniting her fight-or-flight instincts. With every step, the floor seemed to groan louder, echoing unheard rhythms. The hallway stretched further than she remembered, the walls bending toward her, squeezing her in as she moved away from the kitchen, her heart pounding like a frantic drum. Finally, she reached her daughter's room. The door, typically closed, stood ajar. Beyond it lay an unsettling darkness, as if the room had vanished entirely. Swallowing her fear, Marta hesitated before stepping inside, the air feeling thicker, denser, alive. A chill rippled down her arms as she flicked on the light switch. The room illuminated, but the glow only amplified the sense of wrongness. Toys lay scattered on the floor, as if tossed aside in a hurry. Her daughter's favorite blanket was crumpled in the corner, untouched. A terrifying thought gripped her heart. The voice had not been hers. The shadows had whispered something she dared not recognize. In that chilling moment, she turned back to the hallway, ready to flee, when from the corner of her eye, she caught a glimpse of her reflection in the hallway mirror. But it wasn't just her. A faint outline stood beside her, mouth silently forming the words, "Help us." That singular image carved itself deep into her memory, a ghostly figure forever etched against a backdrop of darkness. The weight of unspoken sorrow pulled her into realization. These were voices bound by an endless fragment of her home, caught, calling, and truly, they had never stopped being there. She fled the house, the reality of clashing worlds sending a shiver down her soul. Outside, the bright sun pierced through the last vestiges of fog, illuminating the ethereal shadows that lingered just beyond the door. Marta understood then. Some connections were never meant to be transcended. Those voices, those pleas for help, were locked within the walls of her home, waiting for someone to finally listen. In time, she moved away, leaving behind the voices and the chill that lingered in the air, though at times, late at night, the murmurs of lost souls would weave back into her dreams, reminding her that some places are haunted, not by what they contain, but by what they once held dear.